Hello and welcome. My name is Jake and this is the second lesson in this course. This video will cover guidelines that one needs to consider when removing or installing controller components, as well as a brief overview of Kuka training cell safety, all of which are according to ECD regulations. Before one starts removing or installing controller components, we must first take into account a few safety precautions. For a person to be able to install or remove controller components, they must ensure that they wear protective clothing, such as safety helmets, safety footwear, and closely fitting clothing. Additionally, only the use of suitable lifting gear and load-bearing equipment with an adequate carrying capacity is permitted. Now we get to the guidelines for when we install or operate controller components. The guidelines are as follows. First off, no welding may be carried out in the immediate vicinity of the open control cabinet. Why? Well, among various factors, it risks the EPROMs being erased by emitted UV radiation. One should also prevent foreign matter, such as swarf, water, or dust, entering the control cabinet. Next, during startup, one must check that all the protective devices are complete and functioning properly. It is important to note that during the startup, no persons or objects are allowed in the danger zone. Additionally, it must be ensured that the correct machine data has been loaded before the system is put into operation for the first time. Once the robot is in operation, all safety regulations must be adhered to. It is important that the robot system is checked at least once per working shift for any obvious damage or defects. Two more guidelines to keep in mind is that one should never use the robot or the control cabinet as a climbing aid. Additionally, software must be checked for viruses. Now we move on to guidelines for handling ECD modules. Firstly, components should only be unpacked if you are wearing ESD shoes or ESD shoe grounding strips, or you are grounded by means of an ESD armband. Additional guidelines are as follows. One must discharge the voltage from your own body before touching an electric module. One must not place electronic modules near monitors. And finally, one must only measure with grounded measuring instruments or discharge the measuring head before measuring. Now we reach the final subject of this video, safety of Kuka training cells. What follows is safety instructions that should be considered for the Kuka training cells. Entering the motion range of the robot is only permitted with the robot operated in T1 mode, meaning reduced velocity, or using a KCP. Any and all persons situated in the environment of the robot, within its own or any adjacent cells, must be informed in good time that the robot is about to move. Upon leaving the training cell, one must press the emergency stop button on the KCP, then set the operating mode to T1, and secure the KCP in its holder. One must never lean over the safety fencing of the training cells. Do keep this in mind. When testing programs, one must always execute the program in T1 mode first, and then in T2 mode at reduced velocity. Additionally, no persons are permitted in the cell, and the gate to the cell must remain closed. Finally, the robot and its tooling must never touch or reach beyond the safety fence. And there you have it. This is how the Kuka industrial facilities are properly used. Thank you for watching.